Hello, this is part two of the video that accounts for the maintenance reserve fund and the depreciation. You recall that why would you recall this? If you saw the part one video, what we did is we made a maintenance reserve account for the inverter replacement on a solar project. This could be any type of project. In the video, we made an adjustment and we put in we incorporated the replacement video, the replacement. In the base case, we had one replacement, low case, two replacements, high case, zero replacement. Difficult issues were associated with the inflation and different timing and all of this stuff. We put a different depreciation rate on the inverter replacement. We put a capital expenditure in for the inverter replacement. We put in a balance on the initial inverter replacement and an initial inverter, excuse me, and then the inverter replacement. Then we put a maintenance reserve account in where we left off last time. I had a positive balance. This time we had a zero balance. Let's make a check. Let's show you how to make a check of this. I'm going to redo this. You know what you can do is if you put sum if, let's use the sum if. And let's first just sum this account when we hit a retirement date. So let's just click on the entire line and then put true. That will only find the balance of the account when we have the retirement date, and then find the damn thing. Here, let's go to the closing balance and just click on that, and then we're finished. Yeah, and let's put an equals 0. So that's how we can check that account just hits a zero balance as of a certain period in time. Now let's move on. We move through the debt schedule. Oh, no, we're not finished with the debt schedule. You know, if we are making a sculpting analysis, I think the MRA account, oh, I did do that. The MRA account should be, or the funding into the MRA account should be deducted from the EBITDA income computing cash flow available for debt service. And look at this, I did this wrong. Of course, that's not the right thing to put in for this. What we should have input is the funding of the account, which I hope is this number. And you know what I'm going to do is multiply that by 1, so we just get a 0. Here's our funding of the reserve account, which is a pretty big number. Here's the EBITDA, here's the taxes, and then we have to take 12 away from this. And then we better subtract the funding of the debt service reserve account from this. Did I start it? I hope I started at the beginning. It doesn't affect the, I hope, the debt service reserve account, at least directly, or the refinancing. For the depreciation, I did some of this without the video. I put a depreciation on our initial capital expenditures. Now that does not include the depreciation associated with the inverter replacement. Alright, and we put the balance and got the depreciation rate, and then we allocate this little bit of interest during construction, which for a solar plant's a tiny little bit, but we just want to get the whole thing accurate, and then we put the depreciation on the interest during construction and everything else. For the profit and loss statement, I added a line for the depreciation on our inverters in the base case and separated that out. And I better make sure that we subtracted that, which of course I didn't do. And the balance sheet wouldn't have balanced, and I would have ended up swearing because I couldn't find that one. Alright, and then we can go, let's go to the cash flow account now. When we actually pay for the inverter replacement, that's negative cash flow, but we offset that with the amount that's taken out of the fund, and then we want to subtract the amount we take out of our pocket and put into the MRA fund, and then we'll get an adjusted cash flow. So let's first go, I think we can get most of this. Well, let's get this from the cash flow analysis, and it's theoretically possible, not the way we programmed it, but in other situations, that the actual expenditure for the funding could be different than the withdrawal from the MRA fund. Now, where is the MRA fund? That's a little bit higher up here. Okay. I put less expenditures. A better name for that would have been less withdrawal for the withdrawals from the MRA fund, and then we put our additions to the MRA fund. And those are this one, and I can multiply that by 1 again, remember, since it was a false. So now, as some people don't like this positive number account, which sort of convention, which I think sometimes they might be right, but I'm still using it. It's just a habit I have. So let's take out the amount we spend for that, get the amount we take out of the fund, subtract the amount we put into the fund, and we have a revised cash flow available for debt service, which in this case hopefully would be the 63 minus the 11 minus the 12. All right, that's our cash flow, and now we get to do the really exciting part, which is to see if our balance sheet is going to balance. Now, we start with the equity account. For the assets, we better, underneath the debt service reserve account, we better add an MRA balance, which of course we'll get our MRA balance just from up in our MRA section. There's the balance. Then we can, for our net plant, I think it would be best to put a net plant associated with the panels. How about non-inverter? And then we can add, that's what we had initially, and then we can put a net plant for the inverter initial. How about? And then we can put our net plant for the inverter replacement, which I didn't spell right. initial inverter, what we do is, how boring this is. For the inverter, we put a separate group of accounts together up in the depreciation section. We first put just for the panels and others, and then I hope somewhere I have a net plant balance for the initial inverters, and then we can do the same thing and go up and find the net plant balance for the replacement of the inverters, and hopefully sums. And oh, I should be so happy that the balance sheet balanced again. But I bet you, did it balance in each period? It didn't balance here, right in period 0. And here's why it didn't balance in period 0. I'm going to stop the recording right now, but it didn't balance because we have some pre-construction cash flows. Look at the, is that in the profit and loss statement? Just a minute. Yeah, we have some revenues, some earnings, but we needed to incorporate those pre-construction earnings into the sources and uses of fund statement. So why don't we make a separate video, separate really exciting video.